Lately, I've been thinking about the United States. Nah, not really, but I've been thinking about, specifically 2016 because, we're in 2026 now. Summer is literally right around the corner. Spring break, living it. And honestly, I just started to think of my life when I used to live in the United States and how different it was compared to what I had initially imagined and prepared myself to. But anyway, when I moved to the United States, I thought that I was gonna be in High School Musical. I have never watched High School Musical because when I moved to the United States, I'm from Dallas, but when I moved back to the United States, I was in sixth grade going seventh grade, and during this time, everything was popping off. Everything was popping off. I think that if you wanted to live in the United States, the time has passed, okay? Because I feel like during 2016, everything was cool in the US. But now it's like, why are you doing that? Like, it's not cute anymore. It's not trendy anymore. The US is not that girl anymore. But anyway, and I say that because, first of all, Snapchat. I don't know a single person who was not using Snapchat in 2016. Everybody was using, that dog filter and the flower crown filter as well. It was very popular. Snapchat was all over the place. But now if a guy comes up to me and asks me, hey, what's your Snapchat? And I'm like, no, I'm not gonna give you that because I don't have that. I think that we should start questioning people who have Snapchat as their primary communications app, because like it's odd. It's odd. I get it that you don't want people all up in your business, but at the same time, it's like, it's not demure, if you know what I mean. I remember when I was in school, everybody was sending each other like quick snaps of them with the dog filter, or like a black screen and with the letter S because that meant streaks. I remember that my longest streak had to be like 120 something, or like 60 days, like a 60-day streak. But it was really crazy because when I came back to Mexico, nobody was using it. And I'm not trying to say that Mexico is uncultured or Mexicans do not keep up with the trends. It's just that Snapchat is not as popular in Mexico, and it wasn't as popular, after 2017, because obviously the trend had died. Nobody wanted to have Snapchat anymore because it was inconvenient. If you wanted to read previous texts, you couldn't unless you had manually saved them. But other than that, I thought that Snapchat was a really useless app because, again, who uses Snapchat as their primary app of communications? Also, wasn't 2016 the time when Apple first introduced their first rose gold product? I wanted to have the iPhone 7 Plus in the shade rose gold. I'm lying, it was the iPhone 6s. It was the iPhone 6s, and then then iPhone 7 came, and then iPhone 8 with the beautiful rose gold. The iPhone 8, okay, the iPhone 8 has to be the most gorgeous iPhone, like the rose gold iPhone has to be the most gorgeous iPhone rose gold color. It has to be the most gorgeous rose gold ever, the iPhone 8. It is such a shame that now, okay, this is like a me thing that I think it's kind of, but I think that Apple has become really boring in a way that it's like, why are you only reserving? Why are you only giving the entry-level phones all the palette color, like all the colors, and making them very vibrant, and the phones that are a little bit more expensive and a little bit more high-end are just gray, black, white, and that's it, and occasionally the ugly orange. And I think it's because this might be too much, this might be a reach, but it's because the Apple, or like the whoever works there in the design department, deems entry-level devices as not sophisticated, that the sole reason that they come in vibrant colors is to differentiate them from high end and the status that their higher end devices bring, which I think is such an outdated way to think. Like, I promise you that people want colors, but at the same time, it is very telling where we are as a society, because like vibrant colors is something that people should be ashamed of, and it's deemed as not classy. But black, white, and neutrals are like very very trendy, and it's more acceptable. But like, come on now, I really want a pink phone. It's literally the sole reason why I have a pink case, because I want a pink phone, and Apple is not making iPhone Pro Max iPhones, the Pro Max version of the phone in pink. I only got the Pro Max because honestly I have big hands, and I know that they also have the plus size, but I wanted the extra camera. Don't blame me, don't blame me. I was really happy when my mom took me to T-Mobile with her, and she was like, now you need a phone. Which one do you want? And obviously, because we were struggling financially, because my mom, she was a single mother at the time, and she was working 2 jobs. She was like, now you need a phone. And obviously, I was going for the iPhone 5S or the iPhone SE, and I wanted the iPhone 7 Plus, or the iPhone 7 in general. Like, I only wanted an iPhone. And my mom was like, which one do you want? And I was like, I want the iPhone 5S or 6S, whatever they have, in store. And then my mom was like, how much is the iPhone 7, like the regular version? And she got me the iPhone 7. I literally wanted to cry right there and then, because number one, it was my first phone, and number two, my mom was, making ends meet and still got me the thing that I wanted. She made a sacrifice so that I could have my own phone in the series I wanted. You know what I mean? I literally cried like on my way home, because I'm not the type of person that likes to be seen crying. So I was like sobbing while my iCloud was syncing. So I was like crying because it was my first phone. It was an iPhone, and I was like, oh my god, I'm so happy. And now that I have my own phone, it was, oh my god, it was so fun. It was so goddamn fun. I was, playing Episode. You know what Episode is? If you don't, it's like a story mode game where this is not sponsored, because now that I am saying it out loud, it sounds like this video is sponsored, but it's not, I promise you. Episode is a story mode game where you basically make your own choices, and depending on the choices you make, the outcome is gonna be totally different from the different given choices. So I was playing that, and also there was this other app that was like a scary texting app where it was Hooked, if I'm not mistaken. And I was just playing that because my cousin was like, oh my god, you should download this app, because she, like, at the time I was like so into technology and I wanted to be a trendy person. I also downloaded Musical.ly. Oh my god, Musical.ly was everything. I remember when I would go to PE class and all the girls were like this, and like they ate down. They really did. And then there was this other girl, and I remember this pretty vividly because she was playing an Ariana Grande song, and it was just let me love, and she was like moving her hands around, because at the time it was like a lot of these dance movements that were trendy, and it was really cool. And don't even get me started. Wait, did the mannequin challenge happen in 2016 or 2017? Because I don't want to be historically incorrect here, okay? I don't want to make this video historically inaccurate, so maybe we'll talk about it next year. When did killer clowns become a safety hazard? 2016, okay. It's 2016. Killer Clowns 2016, okay. Because 2016 and 2017 are like this to me, so obviously I'm gonna be talking about them. Killer Clowns, what the hell was that? Like, and oh my god, I remember this YouTuber. I don't remember his name, okay, I lied. I remember that he made a whole video about this. It was either Nightmare. I'm gonna ask my cousin if she remembers, this dude. Because I like everything that I know. Like Brent Rivera and that YouTuber and all of that in 2016 was thanks to my cousin. She was so chronically online at the time, and now I am the one who gets to be chronically online, which is insane. Like, one thing about them tables is that they're gonna turn. But yeah, I remember this pretty vividly, and I'm pretty sure that you guys as well can remember this. But literally before Halloween, like a week before Halloween, my school had sent all parents an email saying that if your child comes to school, to the facilities, wearing a clown costume, he's gonna get expelled, or he's gonna be suspended for like a week. And I was like, oh my god, or he's gonna get detention. I don't remember what the punishment was gonna be, but I was like, oh my god. And my mom was like, estos muchachos de hoy en día. I think that what really marked me when I was in the United States was a cultural exchange that I had with other classmates, because when I moved to the United States, my English was not really good. Honestly, I could only understand what people were telling me, and my reading comprehension was in the gutter, to be honest. But like, if you were to tell me something, like if you were to give me directions at the time, I was gonna do it, because I was not fluent. I like my grammar, like No, it was not okay. I couldn't even have a conversation with you properly without rambling or just I still use a lot of filler words, but that's because I'm embarrassed sometimes and I get shy. Now I feel like I can have a proper conversation with somebody, but even when I'm trying to, find the proper words, I just be like, give me a minute. Thank you. I love nature. But it's like, whenever I'm having a conversation with somebody and I get lost in my train of thought, I just tell them, wait, give me a minute, allow me to collect my thoughts so that I can come up with a proper sentence. And yeah, like, English is still my second language. I'm still learning. I mean, as long as I can defend myself in scenarios where I am being disrespected, or in case somebody want to jump me, I do want to defend myself, and I'll be like, but if I don't want to defend myself, I'm gonna be like, no te entiendo, no te entiendo, no hablo español. Digo, no hablo inglés, güey. O sea, no hablo English. Don't speak English. As I was saying, living in the United States, I had a lot of classmates from Vietnam, a lot of classmates from South America, and it was such a very good experience. My bestie at the time, well, I had two besties. We were a trio. I miss those days. And I miss them so much. The girl was from Vietnam. I'm not gonna say her name because of privacy concerns, of course. And it's really funny. She was my next door neighbor. Like, oh my god. And my other friend who was from El Salvador. Like, we were like this. I love them so much. I love them. And it was really funny during lunchtime because, the kids from Vietnam were teaching us bad words in Vietnamese. And us, we were teaching, the kids from Vietnam bad words in Spanish. And it was like all of this. It was really funny. I loved it. I loved it so much. I am not going to try to say those bad words because number one, I don't want to be disrespectful to any person from Vietnam. And number two, it's a bad word. Come on. But I be saying shit, fuck, and stuff like that, like on a regular basis, but don't worry. Like, 2016 was everything to me. Wait, can we talk about the mannequin challenge? Because if that's the case, like, let me Google it, because I don't remember if this was in 2016, late 2016 and early 2017. Late October 2016. Okay, so we can talk about the mannequin challenge. That shit was... I ate that shit up. I was so happy that we had this type of trends going on, like the mannequin challenge, and now watch me wait. Now watch me in it. Like, come on now. Life was so much easier back then. I wanted to do that with my cousins, two of them were down, but the other two were like, don't film me. Why do you want to film everything? And I'm like, you're so boring. You're lame. You're not funny. I also wanted to do that with my classmates. And I'm pretty sure, because during this time I was in 7th grade, I didn't really have like US history or any of those classes because the majority of those important classes were replaced by ESL. As I mentioned before, English is not my first language. So obviously I had to take ESL classes in order to properly understand the language. And I was learning a little bit of Vietnamese, so we are killing two birds with one stone, my guys. Also, have you guys ever been in an ESL class or ELA? Is that what it's called? Because personally, girl, I loved it. I loved it. Although it was like 4 hours of class. Are you kidding me? Every single day. I felt like I was losing my mind. But at least I got to communicate and articulate my thoughts. I'm still learning. You never stop learning, actually. That's a beautiful thing about life. It is crazy. It is crazy how time has passed. It's been 10 years now, and my dream of being a YouTuber is still there. I don't know why I didn't pick up the camera when I was in 2017, like in Dallas in 2016. But it's better late than never. Am I right? It is better late than ever, and that is exactly why I'm doing this with my YouTube era right now. I actually wanted to post, stuff on Instagram, but it felt like really odd because the content creators that I was following on Instagram, I was like, where do they get all this money from? And why do they have all of these houses? But turns out they were famous before on Vine, and I'm like, oh, that makes sense. Well, it's like I didn't know that they were famous on Vine because I was not on Vine at I was not on Vine at the time, so I was like, oh, okay, that clicks. Do you guys have a favorite memory from 2016? Like, it doesn't have to be like trend related or anything, like something that you did in 2016 that made you feel like, I miss that year. Because a lot of people, within our generation, Gen Zers, we miss 2016 so much because of the nostalgia, probably, especially because like it was a good year overall. Sure, Donald Trump winning the election truly fucked us in the ass. Like, we were all happy before Donald Trump, obviously, but like we were all happy. So I want to know if you guys have like a favorite thing that you did in 2016 that is still with you, like you carry that as like, because it's a core memory for you. So if you do have that, let me know in the comments, because I would really love to know that. I want to read what you have to say, girl. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bisous. How did I forget to mention that Beyonce dropped Lemonade, literally one of the best albums of all time. I was not a Beehive, you know, at the time, but like I was listening to it the other day, and I was like, I wish I had listened or like purchased this on iTunes, because at the time I was not buying, like I was not streaming music, I was buying it. I was a huge loyal iTunes customer, but now I stream music on Apple Music. That's why I have my little HomePod over there. I don't know if you can see it, but yeah.